It's 2024, and let me tell you, Rolex isn't playing by the old rules anymore. In case you missed it, Rolex is stepping out of its comfort zone with some really out-there ideas. We're talking about materials no one saw coming, designs that make you do a double take, and colors that are anything but ordinary. And guess what's making rounds in the watch community? A meteorite Daytona. Yes, you heard that right. And there's even talk about the iconic Coke bezel GMT making a grand return. It feels like we're watching Rolex break free from its own traditions, and it's pretty thrilling. So if you're as excited about these developments as we are, stick around. We've got lots to talk about, and I'd love to hear your thoughts too. Don't forget to subscribe to keep up with all the latest. Let's get into this Rolex revolution together. But first, let's take a walk down memory lane and talk about Rolex's big moves in 2023. Last year was a turning point for them, with the Daytona and Skydweller lines getting some serious makeovers. Plus, Rolex added some new faces to the GMT Master 2 family, bringing in some gold flair and even a titanium Yacht-Master that caught everyone's eye. But what really had people talking was the 1908 collection. It was like a nod to the past, but with a twist. Rolex experimented with a material they'd never used before. This move showed everyone that Rolex isn't just sticking to the script, they're ready to shake things up. With a brand new material in play, it's got us all wondering, is this a one-time thing, or is Rolex just getting started with their creative experiments? As we look forward to what 2024 might bring, we're keeping our hopes up. Rolex has a knack for surprising us, and while they tend to keep their cards close to their chest until the big reveal, the anticipation is part of the fun. Considering their track record for pushing boundaries, there's a lot to be excited about. So, what do you think Rolex has up its sleeve for this year? Let's keep the conversation going and see what surprises they have in store for us. Number 1, Rolex Sprite. Alright, let's dive into one of the cool kids on the block, the Rolex Sprite, or as the folks in the know call it, the GMT Master Reference 126720VTNR. This watch is a standout, a real nod to how the GMT Master has evolved to become a must-have for anyone who loves to travel or just appreciates a solid watch. Released in 2022, the Sprite packs a punch with its sleek 40mm stainless steel case and a black dial that's a cinch to read day or night, thanks to those luminescent hands and numbers. But what's cool is it's getting more accessible on the secondary market, which is great news for us enthusiasts. Although there's a whisper about it maybe saying goodbye in 2024, so getting your hands on one might just become a bit of a race against time. What's undeniable is that the Sprite is a perfect mix of Rolex's legendary attention to detail and practicality, all while looking sharp. It's like they've bottled their entire history of design and craftsmanship into this one watch, and frankly, it's pretty awesome. Number 2, Rolex Yachtmaster 42. Up next, let's talk about the Rolex Yachtmaster 42. It's where sporty vibes meet the high-end world of watches, making it a top pick for anyone who loves the sea or just has a thing for sleek, well-crafted timepieces. You've got options here. Whether you're all about that 18-karat gold, prefer the coolness of steel, or want to go modern with titanium, there's a Yachtmaster 42 for you. And let's not forget the variety in bezels and dials that give each one its own kind of flair. Now, we've heard some folks have their reservations about how the titanium version looks or feels, but Rolex plays it smart with how they roll these out. It's all about keeping things exclusive and making sure that if you've got a Yachtmaster 42 on your wrist, you're wearing a piece that's as much about adventure as it is luxury. It's like wearing a badge that says, yeah, I know a thing or two about the finer things in life. Number 3, Rolex Pepsi GMT Master 2. Let's chat about the Rolex GMT Master 2, or as we all like to call it, the Pepsi GMT. It's the go-to watch for anyone who loves hitting the skies or just digs a great sports watch. Since popping onto the scene in 1955, this watch has become a favorite for globetrotters and watch aficionados alike. You see, the 2018 model is a standout with its sleek stainless steel case and that iconic red and blue bezel that instantly makes you think of a Pepsi can. And now, with rumors flying around that Rolex might stop making these beauties in 2024, Everyone's scrambling to get one. It's like the Pepsi GMT just got even cooler, if that's even possible, with people thinking snagging one now might be a wise move before they become harder to find and maybe even pricier. Number 4. Rolex Deep Sea Challenge. And last, but definitely not least, let's talk about the Rolex Deep Sea Challenge, or as we like to call it, the behemoth of the deep. This beast, officially tagged as reference 126067, is Rolex's way of flexing their innovation muscles to the max. It's a symbol of diving into the unknown and pushing limits further than ever before. Yeah, its size is pretty hefty, which means it won't be everyone's everyday wear. But that's the point, isn't it? It's carved out its own little niche for those who appreciate a watch that's as much about groundbreaking achievements as it is about checking the time. For collectors on the hunt for something that screams extreme, this is it. So right off the bat, we've seen a bunch of new Rolex models hit the scene, and yes, they've come with a price bump. Seems like the dealers saw this coming a mile away and held back on releasing these hot tickets until the clock struck midnight on New Year's, all to cash in on those higher prices. And guess what? It worked. There's a noticeable bump in how many of these 2024 models are up for grabs. Not only that, but the availability of certain models is like a roller coaster. Take the new Daytona Oysterflex that dropped late last year. Initially, you could find them everywhere, and now, not so much. On the flip side, the Datejust is popping up more and more, hinting that Rolex might be playing a game of strategic releases, dropping batches of specific models here and there. Switching gears back to our earlier chat, talking about the Rolex Deep Sea Challenge, it's a prime example of Rolex's knack for crafting stories as much as they do watches. Its hefty size isn't for everyone, sure, but for collectors, it's not just about what's on your wrist. It's about the tales of daring and innovation that come with it. All right, let's dig into what's actually flying off the shelves at authorized Rolex dealers. We've noticed a real hotspot in the market with prices ranging from $88,000 to $155,000. This is where the action is, covering favorites like the Steel Submariner, whether you're into the date feature or not, and the Submariner Blues, especially those stunning 18-karat yellow gold versions. The GMT lineup, especially the beers, is also getting a lot of love. And let's not overlook the smaller heavy hitters, the Explorer 40 and the Datejust 41 with those top 3 dial options are practically vanishing within 24 hours of hitting our site. It's clear evidence that demand is buzzing in this price bracket, driven up by the competitive frenzy on the grey market. But not everything's rainbow and sunshine. The Oysterflex lineup, including those Daytona models that used to be our shining stars, hit a bit of a rough patch in the early months of 2024. Despite their historical popularity, we're seeing a dip in sales that's led to price drops online. It's a bit of a head-scratcher, seeing the Daytona Oysterflex lose its steam, mainly because dealers are tweaking prices to navigate a tricky market. On the flip side, the bigger, blingier pieces like the full yellow or rose gold models and sky dwellers aren't exactly setting the world on fire unless they come with something extra special like meteorite dials or are made of platinum. These pieces are finding it tough to catch buyers' eyes, plus those iconic Rolex GMT Pepsi models, they're becoming as rare as hen's teeth with barely any from late 2023 or 2024 popping up. And before we forget, you know those people who acquire all the cool watches only to sell them off at crazy prices? Well, it looks like they're starting to pack it in. The profits aren't what they used to be, which is great news for us genuine watch fans. This means those dreamy Rolexes might not be out of reach anymore, without having to pay an arm and a leg over the usual price. It's looking like the watch market is opening up, making it easier for anyone who's been eyeing that special Rolex to finally make a move. And honestly, every Rolex tells a story of unmatched quality and innovation, catering to all sorts of tastes. Whether you're into the timeless classics or the ones that push the envelope, there's something for everyone. Which Rolex has you doing a double take? Hit us up in the comments, we're all ears. And hey, if you're enjoying this peek into the luxurious world of watches, don't forget to like this video and hit subscribe on Opulent Oasis. We've got a lot more where this came from. Thanks for hanging out with us, and we're pumped to see you on the next one.